Welcome back to another video in this editing masterclass. In the last video, we talked about keyboard shortcuts. And now this is our last video before we hop into the nitty-gritty of Premiere Pro. We hop into the platform and get you editing. This, however, is a very, very crucial video, and it's very important that you follow along because this video can save you from a lot of frustration in the future. Many of you may or may not know that Premiere Pro has been known in the past to be a software that crashes and glitches out quite a bit. With the new 2021 update, that's changed a little bit. Premiere Pro's interface is now a lot better, a lot faster, and a lot more efficient with less crashes happening. However, it does still happen. In this video, we decided to make to help you optimize your Premiere Pro software in order to reduce those amounts of software glitches or crashes to prevent frustration and to prevent you possibly losing your entire project due to a malfunction within Premiere Pro. I'm going to take you into the settings step by step and show you exactly what things to do, what things to change, and what not to do in order to make your Premiere Pro interface and software as efficient as possible and ready for you to edit in. So without further ado, let's hop into Premiere Pro and let's get started. So we open up here Premiere Pro. We don't have anything here. Again, as I mentioned in keyboard shortcuts video, don't disregard this whole entire screen. It can look confusing. I totally understand, but we're going to go through it together in future videos. For now, we're just optimizing the platform. So all we're going to do first is we're going to come here and we're going to click on Edit. We're going to scroll down to Preferences, and you're going to scroll over and click on General. Great. When you do that, this window is going to pop up right here. First, we have General. Now, we're going to go step by step here. However, General here, there's nothing that we really need to worry about. We could keep that exactly how it is. Then we're going to go through Appearance. And again, this is not important. This is more a preference setting. So basically here, brightness, you can make Premiere Pro lighter. I don't know who would want to do that because it's just disgusting, but I prefer it to be darker, how it's set automatically. So that is the appearance setting. Everything else in this isn't really too important. This is just how you prefer. So now we're going to go down to audio. And with audio, again, this is another tab that we're just going to keep the same. And now we're going to move down to audio hardware. And this is a section that we're going to want to change. So this isn't like this right off the bat. So what we're going to do is, first of all, your default microphone should be selected, which is the playback. So for example, I have mine right here, my default output as these headphones I'm wearing right now, and that automatically registers in my Premiere Pro. But for some people, when they plug in a device such as headphones, sometimes it doesn't play out of the headphones. They don't hear anything when they press play on a clip inside of Premiere Pro. And how to fix that is all you do is you come here to audio hardware and you choose the device that you want it to play out of. So if I wanted to play out of my computer speakers, I could just click speakers. However, I want to keep it out of the headphones. Now, everything else we're going to leave the same, except you're going to want to come down here to latency. Now, you're going to want to change this to 50, exactly how I have it. Yours is likely not set like this, so go ahead and change this to 50 to improve audio playback and audio quality. So once you do that, we're going to come down to autosave. And guys, this one's very, very important. So basically what autosave does is it automatically saves your project after a set duration of time. Now, if you don't set this and your Premiere Pro crashes and you reopen it, it will only open what you last had saved. So if you do not have auto save set, then you'll lose your entire project because that means you'll have to manually save your project. Now, all you do is you click Control S or Command S to save your project, but I don't recommend you do that. I recommend you come here into auto save. You click automatically save every 6 minutes. So basically what Premiere Pro is going to do is it's going to automatically save your project every 6 minutes. So if your Premiere Pro does crash, it does shut down, when you reopen it, you'll have only lost the last 6 minutes of work that you did, which is much better than losing a whole hour or 2 hours. Now, if you want, and you're doing videos that are incredibly graphic heavy, and you're dealing with a lot of vectors, a lot of animations, and 6 minutes of work is a lot of work for you, then you can shorten this down to every 3 minutes or every 1 minute. But for me, the sweet spot I found is to automatically save every 6 minutes. And you're going to want to come down to maximum project versions and set that at 200. Now, that's it for audio save. Now we're going to come down to capture. We're going to keep this exactly how it is. Collaboration, we're going to keep this how it is. Unless you're working with a big team and you guys are having to share Premiere Pro projects, you're not going to have to worry about the collaboration tab. So for now, we're just going to keep this how it is and move down to control surface. Keep this how it is. Let's go down to our next tab, which is device control. And again, we're going to just keep this exactly how it is, and graphics. So here on graphics, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that this is set to where you are. So I'm actually currently living in Europe at the moment. So I have mine set for Europe and East Asian. You could face a lot of glitches, crashes, or other issues inside of Premiere Pro if you do not have the right text engine set. So make sure that you do have this set to your location that you're in. So once you have that set to wherever you are, let's go down to labels, and this isn't important. This is just another user preference setting. So basically, you could set certain color codes to certain things. So for example, when your clip is in the timeline, if you film a lot of interviews, you could set this color to interviews. So basically, every single time you upload a clip that is an interview, it will upload, or you could change it to this purple color. I usually don't deal with that. I like to keep that how it usually is, just the regular label color. Again, this is not important at all. This is just user preference. So we're gonna go down to media now. This is important. So in media, we're gonna make sure that it's set to 23.976 frames per second. We're gonna keep the time code, use media source, the frame count start at 0. Default media scaling. So basically, if you are editing in a 1080 timeline and you input a 4K clip, it will bring that clip in really zoomed in because it's 4K, it's higher resolution, more pixels. So if you shoot things like weddings where you have some 1080 clips or some 4K clips, but you all want it to be in the timeline the same aspect ratio, come down to default media scaling and set to frame size. Very important if you want everything to be flush, clean, and all the same aspect ratio. Next, write XMPID to files on import. We're going to keep these top 3 here unchecked. We're going to make sure include captions on import are checked on, and automatically refresh growing files, turn that junk off. Make sure that is turned off. Make sure everything really here is turned off except include captions on import, and these last 2 down here. Again, everything, make sure that is turned off. Once you turn all those off, except what I have checked here, you can come down to media cache. You're going to want to come here. If you edit off of a external hard drive or an SSD hard drive, whatever you edit off of, you want to make sure that this location is set to that. So I come here, I click browse. I edit all my videos off of a hard drive, off of the Extreme SSD hard drive from SanDisk. So I go ahead and I save all my media cache files in here instead of on my computer, because I want to avoid bogging my computer down with files it doesn't need. Come down here to remove media cache files, click delete, and this will go through your computer and delete all the cache files that you no longer need. Make sure you do this every now and again. I have a habit of doing this every single 7 days to make sure my computer and Premiere Pro are all running as fast as possible. So I'm just gonna let that delete right now. Great, so media cache database, you're gonna do the exact same thing. Set this to the exact same location. I'm pretty sure it does it automatically. Next, let's go to media cache management. Make sure do not delete cache files automatically is checked off. And here, the only one you want to keep checked is automatically delete cache files older than. Make sure this is clicked on, and you're going to want to set this to 90 days. So basically what's going to happen is every single 90 days, it'll automatically go through and delete all the cache files that you do not need. So if you forget to make this a habit up here where you remove cache files automatically or manually, well, this is basically doing it for you every 90 days. So now we're going to go down to memory, which is a very important one. Make sure you have this all the way turned down to 3 gigabytes, because basically this is RAM reserved for other applications. So right here, RAM available for Premiere Pro. So if you see, if I make this higher, it will only make 1 gigabyte of RAM available for Premiere Pro, slowing it down. So make sure this is turned as low as it can go, so it gives Premiere Pro as much RAM as it possibly can to make sure it runs faster. You're going to come down here to optimize rendering for and performance. So that memory tab here is all good to go. Playback, This you could just keep exactly how I have it, no big deal. Enable Mercury Transit, just make sure that this is turned off. And then we could go down to sync settings, which isn't important, so we'll go down to timeline. This is a fun one. So timeline, video transition default duration. So basically when you put a video transition into your timeline, it will automatically make that transition 30 frames long. So you definitely want this set at 30 frames, and the same for audio transitions. And then still images. So when you import a still photo or image into your Premiere Pro timeline, it will make it five frames long. The only time I ever put images inside of Premiere Pro to edit with is if I'm doing a hyperlapse. So that's the only thing I use photos for inside of Premiere Pro. So I set my still image default duration for 5 frames. So when I do import a photo, it's only 5 frames long. Timeline playback auto scrolling. Basically, I like to keep that at page scroll, and timeline mouse scrolling, I like to keep that as horizontal. So if you're on a mouse like I am, when you scroll up and down, it will move the timeline horizontal. But if you like to move it vertical, you can do that too. So if you scroll down and scroll up, it will move the timeline vertical. Now let's go down to here. So make sure set focus on timeline when performing. Insert/overwrite edits are turned off. Snap playback in timeline when snap is enabled. Yes, keep that on. At playback end, return to beginning when restarting playback. Keep that off. Display out of sync indicators for unlinked clips. Turn that off. Play after rendering previews. Turn that off. And then these two, make sure these are clipped. So show clip mismatch warning dialog, and then fit clip dialog opens for edit range mismatches. Make sure those two are checked on. Match frame set in point. Click that off, and restore open sequences when opening projects. Keep that on. Once this is all set to how I have it, go ahead and click on trim, and we're going to keep this exactly the same. And make sure when you're done here, just click OK, and then your Premiere Pro is officially optimized. But we're not done yet. Inside of Premiere Pro, we're done. So you could just go ahead and X out here. Now what we're gonna do is, now that we optimized our Premiere Pro, we're gonna come down. If you're on a PC or a Mac, you're gonna wanna go and make sure that your computer is up to date. So you're gonna go updates and check for updates. Mine is up to date. If yours isn't, update your computer, because Premiere Pro is running off of your computer. So if your computer is not updated, it's not at its full potential, so it will run slower. Finally, if you are on a PC like I am, all you're gonna wanna do is make sure you come to this GeForce Experience application, come over here to drivers, check for updates, make sure the most recent GeForce driver is installed, because it will make your Premiere Pro run faster. Once that's done, everything here for optimization is done. You guys are officially ready to jump into Premiere Pro as an editor. You're ready to learn the nitty and gritty of Premiere Pro. Get in there head first and edit with me, and I'm going to teach you everything along the way. Don't worry. So in the next video, we're going to be importing clips, and we're going to show you how to not only import the clips, but how to organize your clips properly when you import them into Premiere Pro, which is incredibly important, especially if you eventually go on to become a professional editor, a freelance editor. A lot of times understanding how to organize your clips are very, very important. So I'm super excited to go to the next lesson with you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot. I hope your Premiere Pro is all optimized and ready to go, and I'm ready to go to the next video. So I'll see you there.